Myrath with the album Legacy, and legacy is sort of a fitting term to what these guys are crafting, what they have been building. They're a metal band that is based out of Tunisia that specializes in progressive metal, but also what many people are beginning to dub as Oriental metal, which is kind of an interesting term to use, one that certainly could be applied to different cultures among the world. With Myrath, however, this is a group that certainly takes and draws a lot of inspiration from what you see in the Middle East or within certain constructs of faith. And this is something that is really exalted to the heavens with a very opening number, Believer, after Jasmine, which is the introduction. And you'll notice something with this band whenever this song kicks up and runs through its course. This is something that has definitely a lot of cultural musicality based around that region and based around what that area is known for. And some may even say that it sounds very beautiful based around this very idea alone, and I would tend to agree. It's something that whenever you're able to bring in something that is very keen or very representative of the area in which you live, it gives it a flavor, it gives it real individuality. You're telling a story that is not the typical tale that you get whenever you traditionally press play on a heavy metal record or any musical record. It has that real sort of setting built in. But Believer is a track that focuses a lot more on just very, very big riff, big chorus appeal. And it's very well crafted and very well done. Even though this band boasts terms such as progressive metal or Oriental metal, this is an album that feels very, accessible to a lot of individuals, especially those who have explored bands such as Nightwish. If you've listened to Nightwish, Myrath should honestly be on your radar. There's no real connection there, but it is one where similar sounds prevail, only this is singular male vocal, and the region is a bit different. A little bit further south, a little bit more toward the Middle East. Overall, this is an album that does boast a lot of these moments where it seems that Myrath has opted to go for some bigger, more solid, very crushing riffs that are blended with the Oriental progressive tone of the area and tone of the time. It's one that combines these two elements extremely nicely to craft just very elegant metal. Ones that have its share of harder edge moments, but also ones that feel like they could honestly satisfy the palate of just about anybody. They have a lot of appeal, and the appeal comes in the way in which this music is represented. It's very well put together. The flow on this album is very well done. And as far as the lyricism is concerned, it's lyricism that has a lot of surroundings in faith. It has some turmoil built in. There's some psychological or mental pressures that are thrown in there. You could honestly, this is music that feels like it could represent the area in this timeline very, very nicely, because if you look up your history, if you look and see what has been going on within this region over just the course of the past decade, really even just the past 6 years, the amount of unrest, the amount of unpredictability, the amount of justice, but then the amount of development, the amount of really a lot that has occurred not only in Tunisia, but in the entirety of this area of the earth, makes for very unpredictable, makes for very bipolar feeling, makes faith important, but at the same time also makes the awareness and the desire for a little bit of social justice important as well. This is music that somehow, some way is able to really ball all of that together and present it in a way that has both a triumphant feel to it, but also a very introspective and at times retrospective feel. This is mood music that is crafted in order to help with the discussions, with the lyricism, with the tone and the message. And that's why this band is getting acclaim. That's why Legacy is a strong album. It's a snapshot of the times. It's a snapshot of an area. Consider that we have such an upbeat and really high tempo, high energy track, such as Believer to start this album off, but then at the same time, a number of tracks later, with track number 8, we see I Want to Die. There are very many different topics, very many different emotions that are contained on this disc. And that's just an accurate snapshot of really two of the polar opposites. Musically speaking is where the strength of this album really lies, considering it does not have to go over the top with the progressive ideas that you are perhaps used to in order to represent its message. It takes what I would consider more of a prog rock approach whenever it comes to writing, but more of a prog metal approach whenever it comes to representation, whenever it comes to hardness, whenever it comes to depth. You're not going to get Dream Theater from these guys, but you're going to get flowing melody, you're going to get tremendous musicality, and the writing on this album is very well done. Overall, I would give this album just a flat 9 out of 10 and 90 out of 100. Very well tailored, very easy to pick up, very easy to run through, and very easy to get lost into. This album is able to boast all of the positive things that you would want from a record of this distinction. And this is a group that certainly needs a lot more in the way of a fan base, of love. This is something where it should be shared. It should be shared to the heavens. This band needs to be bigger. This band needs to be famous. In many areas, they already are. In many areas, this is not a new thing. But in those areas where this name is perhaps unfamiliar, it should become familiar. Because these guys have a bright future. They've already crafted some excellent albums, such as their earliest works like Hope. And they're just continuing to explore their sound and fine-tuning it in order for it to get better. What are your thoughts about Legacy by Myrath? Let me know in the comments below. My name is CoverKillerNation, and I will talk to you guys later.